Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful ideas in human history. It's an idea that was born in ancient India, and now it quietly runs our entire modern world. This is the story of Aryabhata and the power of zero.
And look, that might sound like a huge overstatement, right? But it's actually true. The whole digital universe, which is built on a language of just ones and zeros, has its roots in this one single idea from over 1,500 years ago. So how did a symbol for nothing become the key to, well, everything?
To really get this revolution, we've got to go back to the world that made it possible. So let's jump right in and travel back to 5th century India, an ancient world of numbers.
So you got to picture this. Aryabhata shows up during an incredible golden age for learning in India. In buzzing intellectual centers like Kusumapura, thinkers were just pushing the boundaries of what was known. And it's right in the middle of all this that a 23-year-old Aryabhata publishes his masterpiece, the Aryabhatiya, a tiny book of just 121 verses that was about to change the world.
Okay, so before Aryabhata's big idea, check this out. This is how you had to write a number. You had to name every single place value. I mean, can you imagine trying to do long multiplication with this? Talk about clumsy, right? It was super inefficient, and it was seriously holding math back. And this was the exact problem Aryabhata wanted to solve.
And his solution? It was an idea that was just breathtakingly simple, but incredibly powerful. Which brings us right to our next section, the power of place.
Okay, this right here, this single line from the Aryabhatiya is the whole secret sauce. Stanam, dasha, gunam. From place to place, 10 times in value. The rule is dead simple. A digit's value depends completely on where you put it. But that simple rule creates a brand new problem, a huge one. How do you show an empty spot?
All right, let's break this down. Super simple. Here we have the number 2. It means, 2 of something. Easy enough.
But now, watch this. When we just slide that 2 one spot over to the left and drop in a placeholder, a symbol for that empty space, suddenly everything changes. That 2 doesn't mean 2 anymore. It means 2 times 10, 20. Its value just got multiplied by 10 simply by changing its place.
And we can do it again. Look, add another placeholder, and now that 2 means 2 hundreds. Its value multiplies by 10 all over again. And that's the magic right there. That's scalability. With just 10 little symbols, you can write out any number you can possibly imagine, all thanks to that placeholder.
Aryabhata called this idea ka, or sunya, the void. Now, what's really important to get is that for Aryabhata, this wasn't quite a number you could do math with yet. That would actually come about a century later with another genius, Brahmagupta. For Aryabhata, it was a placeholder, a marker for an empty column. But this revolutionary idea, a symbol for nothing, was the absolute key that unlocked the power of every other number.
Okay, so once you have this incredible new tool for math, what do you do with it? Well, if you're Aryabhata, you don't just stop with numbers. You aim for the stars, which brings us to decoding the cosmos.
So, with this new system in his toolkit, Aryabhata calculated the value of pi to 3.1416, which is just an astonishingly accurate number for the 5th century. But what's truly mind-blowing is the word he used to describe it, asana, which means approximate. This suggests that he might have intuitively known that pi was irrational, something Europe wouldn't formally prove for another 1,200 years. Just think about that.
And get this, more than 1,000 years before Copernicus, Aryabhata proposed that the Earth actually spins on its axis, and he used this beautiful, intuitive analogy to explain it. He wasn't just crunching numbers, he was looking at the world using logic to explain what he was seeing. This was a radical shift away from the mythological norm.
He did the same thing with eclipses. You see, the popular myth was that a demon named Rahu was literally devouring the sun or moon. But Aryabhata, he just swept all that aside and correctly explained that eclipses are simply caused by the shadows of the Earth and the moon. It was a purely scientific explanation in a world that was steeped in mythology.
But, when you're pushing ideas this radical, you're going to get some pushback. And that's our next section, a mind against the current. And it wasn't just random people pushing back. We're talking about his own brilliant peers, mathematicians like Vrahmahira and Brahmagupta, who sharply criticized him. They completely rejected his theory of a rotating Earth. They argued, hey, if the planet spun that fast, wouldn't everything just get flung off into space? It took some serious courage to challenge what everyone believed, especially when knowledge itself was so fragile. just passed down on delicate manuscripts.
But here's the thing about truly great ideas. You can't keep them down forever. And despite all that resistance, this one was about to spread like wildfire. Welcome to our final section, the zero that changed everything.
So how did it happen? Well, the idea starts this incredible journey. From India, his system travels to the Arab world, where scholars like al-Khwarizmi translated and adapted it. From there, Fibonacci brought it to Europe, where it eventually became known as the Hindu-Arabic numeral system. And then, centuries later, that same elegant logic becomes the very foundation for binary code, the language of our digital age.
No, seriously, just think about that for a second. The exact same logic that let Aryabhata map the stars is what makes your phone work. A 1 in a different position means something else entirely. It is all about place value. That ancient insight, from a manuscript written 1,500 years ago, is literally embedded in the software you use every single day.
And really, that's the whole point, isn't it? Aryabhata didn't invent some complicated machine. He introduced a simple, elegant idea. A symbol's value depends on its place, and a symbol for nothing is what makes the whole system work. It's the perfect reminder that the most powerful ideas are often the simplest.
So next time you pull out your phone, type a number, or just glance at your screen, pause for a second. Remember the incredible journey of that one single idea, from a young scholar in ancient India all the way to the device in your hand. Remember the revolution that began with a void,